Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator. As always, thank you all very much for the support on these videos. They're still doing really well. You all seem to be really enjoying them. And today is one that's been much requested. It's a Crusades battle. So we have Saladin with his army attacking the Kingdom of Jerusalem here. So we're going to have to see if the Crusaders can fend off an attack. They're outnumbered almost 2-1, not quite. But the Crusader army is slightly better equipped. And they also have reinforcements on the way. So we have a force of 2,000 heavy knights returning from a previous battle that will join the fray at some point. And then we also have a force of 2,000 cavalry which will hopefully relieve the defenders. They also have 2,000 archers, 3,000 footmen, and 4,000 spearmen. And they're going up against 20,000 Persians. That's the unit type. 2,000 archers, and they also have some heavy knights as well. So, let me know what scenario you'd like to see next, or if there's any kind of specific historical battle you'd like me to do. If I haven't done the one you've requested so far, do feel free to keep suggesting it. And if you see one that you like the look of in the comments, make sure to thumb those ones up as it gets more visibility, and I'll see which ones are tickling your fancy. So, without further ado, let's get this battle started. And of course, if you're still enjoying the videos, it's very much appreciated if you leave the video a like, a comment, and all that jazz. It helps out the channel hugely. So, this should hopefully run a fairly decent frame rate. And once the units load in, unless I've actually messed this up and they're not actually going to. Oh, here we go. They're coming in now. Blimey. Okay, so some of the units are missing. No, I think that's all of them. I think most of them have spawned in. Aha. Okay, so here we have the... Let's go check over the units just to make sure they're all where they should be. So we have the heavy knights ready to come in and hopefully save the defending force. So there's about, what, 34,000 troops on the battlefield today. So the frame rate right around kind of 20 frames a second. So that's not too bad with a battle of this size. There's the archers. We have the footmen ready to charge out. So they are charging out of the city today because both teams have archers. I wanted to kind of see how they'd fare here. So we have the spearmen ready to charge into battle as well. Then we have the Saladin's army, a mighty force ready to attack the Crusaders. And hopefully over here somewhere we have the cavalry. But they are... Wow, they are a long way away. So they might even turn up after... Oh my gosh. None of them have spawned. Okay, I will move their position about and change that around a little bit. Okay, so I've spawned in as much as the cavalry that I can risk without them getting kind of cut off at the edge of the map. You can see where they get cut off here. So that hopefully that'll be something that Robert will fix in a future update, because I literally couldn't spawn any on this open flat ground here, which is a shame, but they're still far enough away at the moment that they're not going to be able to affect the battle right away. If I'd have spawned them here, then I could have done that, but then there's a chance that the archers might have got in amongst them. And I didn't want that to happen. Okay, so without further ado, let us commence battle and see who will be the victors here. I'm hoping the archers might get some shots off and not fire into the floor. That is great. Looks like they are inflicting some damage on the enemy knights. And the spearmen aren't going to have a whole lot of fun. They will probably fall quite quickly to those knights. But we do have the reinforcing Crusaders here. But at the minute, the kills seem pretty even, actually. And the footmen are actually getting more kills overall. Sorry, the Crusaders are getting more kills overall than Saladin's forces. And the cavalry appears to be pouring over now. And they're going to go into the rear of the archers. And it looks like some of the forces are going to try and intercept a bit of the cav. But hopefully the cav can charge on over and hopefully not get too bogged down, and we'll just keep on charging into the rear of the battle. But at the moment, it's looking even Stevens at this stage in the fight. And now we have the heavy knights led by the Crusaders to try and relieve the forces here. Footmen are also pouring out of the city, so that is awesome. And now we have a bloody brawl for the Kingdom of Jerusalem. So I'm just going to turn on cinematic mode, toggle slow-mo, and we can see this battle play out. So let's go zooming in. Looks like the cavalry causing a bit of a problem over there. Over here, the knights are fighting the knights and Saladin's infantry. And the stats definitely go in favour of the heavy knights here. The spearmen are now holding the line, just barely. Because if they break through, they're still taking a lot of archer fire, which is kind of the Crusaders' main advantage here. Because the Saladin's forces, their archers are being distracted by the enemy, by the Crusading cavalry. However, it is looking like their cavalry, the archers here, the cavalry hasn't gone into the complete flank of these archers. So that is going to cause a bit of a problem, a bit of an issue, perhaps, for the Crusaders. But at the moment, it's looking like it's even Stevens in terms of unit population. Cavalry still going for the attack here. However, the archers are now just able to fire down. Oh, that is brutal. So the cavalry just being shot to shreds. It's a shame they didn't go over here. But we're going to let the battle play out. I'm not going to interfere like I do sometimes, but the battle is now broken off into two pieces. The cavalry attacking the rear of the forces, and the main battle going on over here. So are the archers still able to fire? They are still in range, so still able to fire down. So the Crusaders are still outnumbered 2-1. However, the heavy knights now have, on Saladin's side, have actually fallen. So it's looking like this could go the Crusaders' way, mainly because they were able to. The Crusaders were able to survive the initial kind of brunt of the attack with the spearmen, and the spearmen don't have very good stats, so that's why I gave them 4,000 of them. But it's 7,000 Crusaders against 12,000 of Saladin's forces. Now the archers have kind of dealt with the cavalry attack. They're able to fire onto the heavy knights. So it might just be a archer v archer battle at the end of this. But the cavalry attack didn't have the effect that I was hoping. However, they managed to distract a lot of the archers for a period of time, which might give the defending forces from the city the advantage. So, although it wasn't like a last stand rescue kind of thing, which is what I was hoping, it still did the trick. So we have the footmen here, the spearmen still managing to hold the line, and the footmen pretty much have the city covered as well. So it looks like, though, the centre has crumbled a little bit. So all of the spearmen here just stacked high. And now Saladin's forces are pouring over into the flank, but they're going to be taking a barrage of fire from the archers. So it looks like the Crusading forces are getting a little bit of an advantage, but at the minute, it could still go either way. So the last of the cavalry is still pouring over the ridge, and hopefully they've inflicted at least a few casualties. but being under fire from the archers really did hamper their attack. Okay, so under 6,000 Crusaders remain. Around 8,000 of Saladin's forces. The Heavy Knights now inflicting huge amounts of kills against Saladin's forces, but the archer teams on both sides now are just giving an absolute barrage here. So the infantry fight over here is still going on. Arrows from both forces heading down. The archers are king in this mod. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it looks like the Crusaders now have the advantage in terms of numbers, but the cavalry attack has now been defeated, and that frees up a few extra thousand of Saladin's forces to go back in and put pressure on the Crusader centre. The Heavy Knights still pushing to relieve the defending force. Oh my gosh, they're about even in terms of numbers now. This is probably the closest custom scenario that I've done in quite some time. In fact, most of them have been absolute bloodbaths. Oh my gosh. Saladin's forces might still get it out of the bag though, because they have the superior numbers of infantry. We do still have this big block of Crusaders, but they're being shot by the archers. But if this centre falls, if the Crusader centre just crumbles, then they've got free reign to go in and attack the archers here. The amount of arrows going in, I don't think that Saladin's forces will prevail this day. But I don't want to speak too soon. But the majority of both forces now are just archers. So I gave both forces an equal amount of archers. I gave them 2,000 apiece. The Crusaders still have some of their heavy infantry left, but they're going to start falling mightily quickly under that barrage of fire. I do believe some of the archers would have been taken out by the cavalry. And for the first time now, the Crusaders have the advantage in numbers. But those Heavy Knights, under the barrage of fire from the enemy archers, have just been absolutely destroyed. So they managed to fight their way all across here, only to be taken out by enemy archers. And now, this is kind of the interesting bit, because the infantry here are just going to get obliterated. And then we'll see if the archers up here can survive under the fire and attack of the enemy infantry. But it is looking like the Crusaders might just hold on to their city here today. Infantry has pretty much just knocked each other out. Oh my god, this is just brutal. Okay, so the infantry has killed each other, and now it's purely an archer fight. Oh no, there's still pockets. Pockets of footmen left. It won't last for long. And now we have the archers beginning their bombardment of Saladin's archers here. So this might last a little while. Just the constant exchange of archers. So if we can kind of see them going to and fro, each individually rendered arrow hopefully finding its mark here. Let's see if anything... So if I had that constant barrage of arrows coming in, I definitely wouldn't stay. Especially where the Crusaders now have double the attackers' number. It's going to be an uneven contest. But they are still focusing on the... Oh, no, there we go, he's dead. I was going to say, they're still focusing on the infantry. And this fight might go on a little while. This is where I'd usually nuke it. But I have to say, it's going to be interesting to see who actually wins. Because they are bleeding. The archers here are definitely bleeding. And where they're more tightly packed, that might put them at a bit of a disadvantage. It's actually really even. I wasn't expecting it to be this balanced, but the battle now has been going on for 12 hours. So the archers are just going to be shooting at each other in the dark at this stage. So can you actually speed it up? Let's do it ×2. Wow. That is an odd sound. But it's like a frickin' machine gun. But the Crusaders, they're losing a lot more archers than I thought they would. Despite having the stronger position and the high ground, where they've clumped up, that is really not going in their favour at all. And we can see that this is going to be very tight indeed. 700. Oh my gosh. This Saladin's forces could still get victory here. 200 against 500. Ah, no. I think where they're no longer so densely packed, that's going a bit more in favour of the Crusaders now. Look at this bloodbath. Look at it. It's just... Oh, good lord. Archers getting shot. And with 100 remaining on Saladin's forces, it's going to be a victory for the Crusaders here today. Well, there we have it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the scenario. Please do make sure to suggest new ones in the comments. I do read all of them, but I don't think I'll ever be able to do all of the scenarios you suggest, and I don't really plan on doing the silly ones. I'm going to stick to more of the kind of historical. This wasn't exactly based on any kind of battle, but it was something that had been heavily requested, like a siege had been requested. So I obliged. Is that... Oh, come on, guys. Oh, well, he's dead. So where is the remainder? So there's one guy just shooting there. Should we let him live? I don't know. Well, I should probably give the Crusaders a... I don't think I'll be able to kill all of them, so... Well, technically... that made them victorious, but I don't have a clue where that other guy is. But definitely the Crusaders won that one. By the skin of their teeth, though. That was a very close fight. So, yeah, until next time, everyone, I bid you a very, very good day!